US President Donald Trump has ignited a full-scale firestorm. His push for reciprocal tariffs has impacted global markets, triggered sharp reactions and a lot of concern. But perhaps most importantly, it has resulted in a rather angry response from China. Beijing seems furious. In fact, its messaging is absolutely clear. It is ready for any kind of war with the United States. So are things really headed in that direction? Just look at what the Chinese embassy in Washington said in a post on the platform X. I'm quoting here. If war is what the US wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we are ready to fight till the end, quote unquote. But what exactly triggered this escalation, you ask? Well, in his speech to the US Congress, US President Donald Trump accused multiple countries, including China, India, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and the European Union, of exploiting the United States with unfair trade practices. Listen in to what he said.
On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher.
You see, Donald Trump has already doubled levies on Chinese goods from 10% to 20%, and further announced that beginning the 2nd of April, America will implement reciprocal tariffs, which means every tariff imposed on American exports will be met with an equal and opposite tariff on imports from those countries.
April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in, and whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever.
In fact, Trump's comments also come at a time when India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal is in the US this week for crucial discussions about advancing bilateral trade agreement, an issue that was discussed during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to the US. According to reports, this is not just a policy shift by Donald Trump, what we are seeing playing out. It's a plan designed to force trading partners into submission in a way.
Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much.
In fact, according to Trump, tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again. You heard those words. But just look at the immediate fallout. What are things looking like? Wall Street took a nosedive. The S&P 500 dropped to its lowest level since before the 2024 election, perhaps reflecting investor concerns. In fact, according to reports, financial markets worldwide are reeling with investors pulling back amid fears of an all-out trade war. And as per economists, American businesses, already struggling with inflation and supply chain disruptions, now face even higher costs and economic uncertainty. And by the way, that's just one part of the fallout. Look at this reaction coming in from Canada. Justin Trudeau has accused Trump of trying to sabotage Canada's economy.
At the moment, the U.S. tariffs came into effect in the early hours of this morning, and so did the Canadian response. Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal, but Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do.
According to reports, Mexico and the European Union are also preparing retaliatory measures, targeting American industries with tariffs of their own. Meanwhile, both Canada as well as China have reportedly taken the tariff matter to the World Trade Organization against the United States. Financial analysts at this point are cautioning that what we are seeing now is just the beginning, stating that global markets are volatile, but the real damage could come in the months ahead as companies scramble to adapt and international trade slows down, adding that a full-blown trade war could push the world into recession with no clear winners as such. So with tariffs becoming weapons in a way, is Trump not only straining diplomatic ties but also threatening the stability of an already fragile global economy with his moves? Will Trump's gamble pay off, or will it result in matters spiraling out of control? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The US has got the custody of a top terrorist accused of planning the 2021 bombing at Kabul airport's Abbey Gate. 13 US service members and at least 170 Afghan civilians were killed in the attack. This marked one of the rare instances of cooperation between the CIA and the ISI after several years of strained ties. Addressing the joint session of the US Congress, President Donald Trump announced that the accused was captured in Pakistan and was on the way to the US to face justice.
America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan.
And moments after US President's announcement, the FBI Chief Kash Patel confirmed the development on his X account and confirmed that the FBI, DOJ and CIA extradited one of the terrorists. The White House, meanwhile, identified him as Mohammad Sharifullah, one of the leaders of an ISIS branch in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Sharifullah was allegedly involved in the planning of the bombing during the US withdrawal from Afghanistan in August 2021. Sharifullah was arrested by Pakistan Intelligence Service based on inputs provided by the CIA.
Canal surrounding the airport wall.
According to US media reports, Donald Trump has instructed the CIA director to prioritize capturing the perpetrators of the Abbey Gate attack. One US official, in fact, said that the CIA director on his second day in office raised the issue during his first call with his Pakistani counterpart, Lieutenant General Asim Malik. He again pressed the issue with the Pakistani spy chief on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference in mid-February. On the 23rd of February, the US was notified of Sharifullah's capture. Ratcliffe and FBI Director Kash Patel held a call with the Pakistani intelligence chief from the CIA headquarters. On the 25th of February, Washington and Islamabad agreed on the extradition of the Abbey Gate attack mastermind. The two countries agreed to cooperate within 1935 treaty. Extradition between the US and Pakistan is governed by the extradition treaty between the US and the UK, which entered into force in 1935 and was adopted by Pakistan upon independence. Our next story is about Trump's Golden Dome missile shield. On Tuesday, President Trump also asked the Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense, an Iron Dome for America, if you will. Listen in.
As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I am asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Washington has long worried about the possibility of attacks from hostile countries, fearing that it lacks the most sophisticated technology. And we know Trump has been planning this for a while now. In his first few days in office, President Trump ordered the development of a next-generation missile defense system, which he likened to Israel's Iron Dome. In fact, the aim, shielding the U.S. from advanced aerial threats and reviving Reagan-era Star Wars ambitions. And what about the threats? Russia, North Korea, Iran, China. Proponents of such a system for the U.S. have pointed to recent events like Russia's use of hypersonic missiles in Ukraine, Iran's missile barrage on Israel last year. Israel has credited its success with intercepting many of the launches to its Iron Dome anti-projectile system. And Trump wants a similar shield for America. He wants to pursue a Golden Dome. President Ronald Reagan had wanted to build a similar system during his term, but the technology was not available at the time to bring that project to fruition. But now Trump says the technology exists. So how exactly does the Iron Dome work? The Iron Dome is basically a network of batteries, each comprising a radar, control van, and missile launcher. And each battery detects and tracks incoming rockets with radar and calculates which are likely to reach populated areas. It then fires missiles at these rockets, leaving the others to fall on open ground. As for why Trump wants an Iron Dome for America, you ask? It's quite simple, really. An American Iron Dome would demonstrate strength, to say the least, and send out a message to enemies. But what would it protect against, really? For starters, ICBMs, or intercontinental ballistic missiles, that many of America's enemies, including China, already have. ICBMs are the most likely threat to the U.S. as they can travel at incredible speeds above the atmosphere and re-enter to hit targets in America. Just to be clear, the Iron Dome system used by Israel has zero capability to actually intercept an ICBM. It seems then that America wants a bigger and more effective missile shield than the Israel Iron Dome. As for whether it can actually happen, since President Reagan announced his ambitious Strategic Defense Initiative in 1983, the U.S. has paid more than $415 billion to military contractors and employed the best scientists to gain full air defense coverage. But nothing really has come close among the systems already in place in the U.S. Is the $53 billion ground-based Mid-Coast Defense Program designed to knock down rogue long-range missiles from hostile countries like North Korea, China? It is a basic system of 44 ground-based interceptors deployed in Alaska as well as California. In ideal test conditions, they had been able to hit a target only half of the time, and according to the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, whatever is missed by these interceptors basically falls to the U.S. Navy's Aegis system, which can protect about a third of the U.S. at a time. And now experts have questioned the feasibility of deploying an Iron Dome-like system across the continental U.S. Unlike Israel, which is a small country, the U.S. would need to defend its vast urban areas, military bases, critical infrastructure. They are spread across thousands of miles. Deploying the number of Iron Dome batteries required for such huge parts of U.S. territory would be economically and logistically very challenging. And that does not even begin to cover the challenges. Each Iron Dome system can defend an area of roughly 150 square miles. And according to experts, the U.S. would need to deploy more than 24,700 $100 million Iron Dome batteries, costing a total of $2.5 trillion to defend the 3.8 million square miles of the continental United States, which excludes Hawaii. So then, can the Iron Dome for America be the ultimate defense that Donald Trump is looking for? Could the U.S. build its own Iron Dome missile shield? While many of Trump's most enthusiastic supporters have welcomed the idea, critics, however, have cautioned that the enormous project requires a lot of money with little return on investment. And some have even said that this is not about America's defense. This is a gift, in a way, to defense contractors.